Yes, welcome back. Welcome to Task Farm Uganda. Margaret Baluka is my name, and this time round, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all my farmers. This time, Task Farm, we have come with something new. We have been building for you greenhouses, solar dryers, and we have been giving services at large. But this time, we have come with something new. Ask me what. We have decided to bring for you materials, our fellow friends that want to come in and also do the same activities we have been doing, and those ones who have been building greenhouses and solar dryers like us. We have come with good news for you people. We have brought in a container of materials. All the materials we use in greenhouse, we have brought them at Task Farm. All the material we use in solar dryers, we have brought them in Task Farm. We have brought quality materials. So today, I want us to join Lawrence and we look at some of the materials that we have brought for you people. Let's come back. Okay, right where we are standing, I told you today we have brought for you quality materials all the way from all the countries you've been traveling to just to look for this material. Some of you have been going downtown. They even give you fake materials, but here I told you Task Farm, we have solved that problem. And I told you, those who have been following me, that briefly we are going to meet Lawrence. And Lawrence is the one who is going to take much of our time just to explain to you how can you tell a good Cavera for your solar dryer? How can you tell a good Cavera for your greenhouse? Right besides me is Lawrence. So, Lawrence, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for keeping Task Farm.
We are doing our best.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm very glad you decided to bring in good materials.
Yes, because you see, farmers need to be treated, in a special care.
Okay.
You cannot just throw them out there and let them be eaten by wolves, and then we need them to give us food. So for that reason, we brought them quality materials, material that you can rely on, material that you can get your guarantee, material that when you use, your structure is going to stand for a long time.
Okay, most of the questions I've been getting on my YouTube and TikTok, plus other networks I use, is people go to Container Village and they end up getting fake materials.
Okay.
So my other suggestion was I'm going to talk to Lawrence and tell them to bring us material. Thank God this year you decided to bring us material.
You see, greenhouse materials, we have different colors to start with. And maybe the major thing is that there is a difference between the materials we use for greenhouses and solar dryers, what we call UV sun covers.
Yes.
So they are UV treated. They are treated to handle the sun and the weather out there.
Okay.
And then they are also treated to be able to take care of our crops. I hope you get it. It's like an umbrella, but now for the crops, to prevent them from the harsh weather outside, but while supporting them to grow. You get it?
There's a farmer who can't differentiate that.
Yes, that's what I'm coming to.
If you're looking at a greenhouse,
yes,
we have our vegetables in the greenhouse.
Inside, yes.
When we look at a solar dryer, we want to dry our
things. Yes, but again, how are you drying?
Yes.
You see, there are some commodities when you dry them in the direct sun. For example, let's say it's something white, it turns black or grayish. It's because of the light rays. For example, for us who have gone a little bit out there in the north and the like of the other places, the sun burns you and you become black, but the parts that are covered by the cloth remain your original color. The reason is because the sun is unfiltered.
Okay.
So for that reason, even when you're drying, you don't just dry, anyhow. So they need to dry under the right material. That's why we call them crop protection covers. It's like, how would I call it? It's like when it's raining,
yes,
and one person is using a sack to cover yourself, and another one is using an umbrella. Yes, somehow the sack, some water will run off, but most of the water will be on you. you know.
When the sack gets wet.
Yes, it starts getting, you equally get wet. But the other one with an umbrella just continue smiling. I mean, we are all living, yes, but one is wet and one is not. It's the same thing here. Then there is an issue of the durability. The normal caveras which we find around, the normal plastics we find around, which you find in downtown, we find in Container Village, in other places, we call them PVC. They are different and they are not meant for covering crops.
Okay.
They are not treated for that.
Okay.
You get it? And they have a short life. You cover your dryer or your greenhouse with those caveras, maximum I give you 6 months. And if it's a very hard gauge, maybe what we call 1,000 gauge, 1 year. And then it just comes down slowly, all of it.
Maybe that's why
it just pours down.
That's why many farmers have been complaining.
Yes, and they actually many have gone to their farms to replace those papers, and you just find them miserable. But well, tell them sorry, but this is the right item to use.
So the moment I entered inside here, I noticed that different colors.
Yes.
Of veras.
Yes.
There are different colors. So
these sun covers, we have about 4 colors mainly. We have what we call white. White may be something like this or something like this. It's white. I don't know whether I can be able to lift this one off. Okay. This is white. Okay. We call it white. Okay. Then we have yellow.
Okay.
We have another one which is greenish. We are going to bring it the next time. Then we have what we call clear. It may look whitish, but this is clear.
Yeah,
we call it clear. No, we call it clear. It's not like it's 100% clear. It's translucent. You can see an image of someone if he's walking inside, but you cannot really. It's not so clear. I mean, it's just the intensity of the color that changes. Now, these covers, those different covers, are originally made to handle different crops, especially for people who deal with the flowers. The flowers of different color prefer different shading, the kind of shade that you use. If you've ever seen what we call glow lights, or the lights that we use for crops, when the crops are young, we use different color. When they start to grow, we change the color from purple to a different color. Then when they are mature, we use a different coloring. Those are different wavelengths that we prefer for that particular crops at that particular age.
Okay.
Now, these colors of the UVs, those people who are very keen on the color of my flower, you know, especially the guys who are doing roses and such, those are the ones who go specific colors. However, at the same time, those different UVs have something we call the amount of thermicity or the heat they can retain or they can allow to be
depending on
within.
the color or
even the color itself can also have that, and also the type of the material.
The type of the material.
So now, depending on the purpose, that's where now they come differing. Now, for example, we do install a lot of solar dryers.
Yeah.
Solar dryers for drying coffee, solar dryers for drying cereals, solar dryer for drying fruits, for drying chicken droppings and animal waste. Of recent, we dried bread crumbs. I didn't know bread can be dried, but we dried them.
So which ones are those?
Now, those are different materials that you can dry. However, now depending on the item you are drying, you need to know what level of heat do I need.
Okay.
You get it? Because you see, drying uses 3 principles. It uses heat. There must be enough heat. There must be enough airflow. And then there must be moisture must be able to move. Those 3 principles must be respected. Okay? Now, you'll find that this cavera we are calling clear retains higher heat than this yellow.
Okay.
And for example, for us who are here in central Uganda, you realize that we don't want too much heat in our crops, in our greenhouses. But in our dryers, I want at least a minimum of 70 degrees. I mean, a maximum of 70 degrees, because after 70 degrees, you now go to cooking. That's a different area altogether. So we use this clear cavera for our solar dryers simply because we want to maximize the heat, especially when we are drying things like chicken droppings, which really don't mind too much, whether it is dried too much or, you just want it dry.
You want it dry.
But when you are going cassava, for example, and it is for a specific person, you need to know what, the standards of the person receiving the other side. Especially if you're going to export to Europe, you need to know. And when you know, now we follow that to determine what to use.
Yes. Okay.
So it is so important for one to know what he's doing. So it's not just a matter of wake up, go buy Kavera and go and put. Yes, there is some little science behind it which helps you to achieve that which you want.
Okay, briefly, let's give Lawrence at least some minutes to take a glass of water. We shall be right back. Yes, we have the white one, we have the yellow one, and the clear one.
Yes.
So I want Lawrence to take us through so that if you come to visit us or if you give us a call, you're specific, you know what you want. And don't forget, if you're in this business of building greenhouse and solar dryers, please don't forget to call us. Come, we shall give you quality material. Lawrence, please take us through the
Now, maybe we should tell them where we are first.
Okay.
Task Farm, we are in Kabusu, next to Kabusu roundabout. I'm very sure they are seeing our signpost by the road. Very convenient. As you are going towards, if you're coming from town and you're going towards the roundabout, it's on your left.
And
if you're coming from
very big parking.
Parking, you come. Even if they have a limousine, they can still have where to park it.
Limousines are still there.
They are still there, my friend. Nowadays they have these big ones, the 4-wheel ones. Okay. Now, if you're coming from the roundabout, we are on your right. You'll be able to see a big signpost, Task Farm.
Okay.
That is where we are now. We do have all these materials in our stores. Okay. See, we are not going to tell you that, we are going to go and bring it from, I don't know where, who has what. It's here. If whatever size you want, it's here. If we don't have it, we tell you we don't have it.
We sell to you what you're seeing.
Yes. Real thing. No, not these stories concocted. You are calling who? No.
You
direct.
When you're from downtown,
yes,
someone will tell you, which should you want? Which size? Okay, madam, let me come back.
Yes. No. Here there is nothing like coming back. The gate is there. We don't get outside the gate.
Okay.
Now, we have different materials. Maybe we start with the white ones.
Okay.
And as I explained earlier, these materials are used for crop protection. Okay? Now, I have a white Kavera here. These Kaveras have different uses, like I explained before. And the white one can work even here in Kampala for greenhouses comfortably well. Yes, it's hot, but this doesn't make the greenhouse any hotter than needed. Okay. Now, we have different sizes, different depending on the size of the greenhouse that you want. We have different dimensions of those UV materials, starting the smallest size we bring in width is 3 meters.
Okay.
That's the smallest width that we bring. Then the length will depend on what you want as the farmer or as the person building these structures. It can be, the smallest roll we bring of 3 meters is 16 meters.
Okay.
So it's 3 meters width and 16 meters long. Okay, that's the smallest roll that we bring.
Okay.
So depending on what you are building, we got you covered.
Okay.
That is, we were looking at the white one, the white colored. Remember, we have different colors. The white colored, we have all those different sizes.
Okay.
So
from 16 to
3 is the smallest width that we bring. The next is 6. Okay. After that we have 7.
Okay.
Then we have 11 and 12.
So where did they get the 16?
No, the 16 is the length. Where we said that the smallest roll that we bring is 16 meters. Okay. Why? Because normally, if you've been keen with the greenhouses, the smallest standard greenhouse that farmers are advised to build is 15 meters in length. Okay? Yeah, so to cover that house, you need 16 meters of Kavera.
So they just leave 1 meter for...
It's allowance for you to hold and pull and that kind of thing. So that's why we bring that as the smallest size. Okay. But that doesn't mean that someone who is doing something shorter than that won't get we can still cut it for them.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we only bring that because that's the standard. And again, when you're importing, you cannot again bring every little size, You have to sort of have a standard so that when they're cutting them from the machines, they cut at, at the given length that you need, that your people take.
Okay.
Yes. So that is one color.
The white one.
The white one.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the yellow one.
Okay.
Yes. Now, these are the colors of the materials. It has nothing political in it. Now, the yellow ones is what normally many people presume is for greenhouse, but they are actually all for greenhouses. Now, the yellow ones, and maybe to clear on it, all these UVs you see here, they have the same thickness, the thickness of the UV. We brought 200 microns. Not those people who are bringing for you 180 and 150 and tell you it's 200 just because you don't have a caliper to measure. But these are 200 microns, okay? But if someone wants higher microns than that, can place a special order and we bring for them because they are there. The only difference is the pricing.
What will be the effect if you bring in microns that are not really the ones we require?
The Cavera doesn't last the time that it should.
Okay.
Because now here, these covers, we give them 3 to 4 years. If they're in a dryer, 3 years. If they're in a greenhouse, maximum 5 years.
5 years.
Yes, if they're in a greenhouse. But if we bring higher microns, there are microns that go to 8, there are others that go to 10 years. So it depends now on what one wants.
So if I come to Task Farm and I want the ones that have high microns, you can still order?
Yeah.
Okay.
We make special order and we bring for you. Yes. Why we don't bring them is because the market doesn't consume them. We had them, but then we took them to the farm. You remember.
Before, there's a question. I wanted it to come in front, but I almost forget. Are these Vuveras, our UV covers, same price?
Yes, the price is the same because we sell per square meter.
Okay.
A square meter is 1 meter width, 1 meter length. So irrespective of the dimension, the unit cost is the same. Okay. Yes. However, the sizes, I must insist, the sizes are different.
When you talk of sizes, what do you mean?
For example, we talked of 3 meters in width. Okay? All right? Yes. You understand that one. You look here, you have 6 by 16 meters.
Yes.
You get it?
1 of 12.
That is 12 by 16 meters. Here I have 12 by 31. Here I have 3 by 31. There are different sizes. Here is 7 by 21. Then when you check under it, you find a 7 by 31. So there are different sizes for different, someone maybe his greenhouse is small or is bigger. So we bring different sizes. Yeah.
Okay. I get your point. Now we're still on the yellow one.
Yes. And the yellow one, we said, this is what many people know. This is what many people know. It's used for greenhouse construction.
Okay.
We have them, different sizes as well. And different length. Okay. The minimum length we have is 16 meters. And the rest now is according to you and what you need. Yes. We just measure for you what you want, and we cut for you that part.
Okay.
And that's what you pay for. Then we have
the clear bag,
what we are calling the clear. And this is what we have been using for our solar dryers. We also have them in different sizes. For example, what you're just seeing there is now 7 by 16 meters. Not that is the only size that is there. No. We have 3, we have 6, we have 7, we have 11, and we have 12.
Okay.
Yes. So the clear ones are also here in plenty. Different sizes as per your structure that you are covering. Yeah. However, this one in Kampala here, we would advise you to use it only for the dryer because this one has a very high thermicity. In other words, it can be able to retain too much heat inside. And as such, it serves very well for dryers. However, if you're building your greenhouse in Kapsholo or Kabale, that one will again work perfectly for you.
So this one works well in cooler areas?
For greenhouses.
Okay.
And if you are here in Kampala and you make a mistake and make a short greenhouse, then it will be very hot because it retains a lot of heat inside. Yes, that is this clear color. And that's why we use it a lot to make the solar dryers.
Solar dryers.
Yes.
Because of its...
Because of that heat that you can be able to retain inside.
Okay.
So that is the clear color. We use it for solar dryers. However, originally it is meant for crop protection. So if, let's say, you are drying maybe fruits or cereals and you don't want them to change color. You've seen people who dry maize and then it turns out yellow. You've seen that kind of maize, even mushrooms. But now when you use these, you don't get that. If it's white, it remains white.
Because mushrooms from the supermarkets are clear. When you go to other markets outside,
you find the black and yellowish and
no,
grey.
not even market. When I try to pick mine, you know that those mushrooms that grow from anthills,
Yes.
they develop maggots even before they
Oh dear. It's the issue of the drying.
Okay.
But this is the Kavera we advise you to use for drying. So we have it in plenty.
Okay.
You come, if you want maybe different microns, you just place a special order and we bring them for you.
Okay, before we forget, please first give them your contact. Yes.
At Task Farm, you can call us in the following numbers. Airtel 0703 490
Yes.
927. That's the Airtel one.
Until
MTN, the office line, 0788 500 968. When you call those ones, just speak the word language,
we have
dialect. That's the office line, the Airtel one. The 0703 490 927. That one works between 8 and 6 p.m. After that, we will not be able to receive it because it's a landline. Then the rest, you can be able to either WhatsApp, you can be able to respond to it. When you call, kindly, if you need the UV, please just say UV. You shall get it for you. If you don't know the size of the UV that you need, kindly give us the size of the structure that you intend to do or you have already built. Once you give us the size of the structure, we can be able to compute for you the UV that you need. Whether it's a greenhouse or a solar dryer, we can be able to compute for you the materials that you need, and then you'll be able to even know the amount of money that you need, and you can be able to buy it.
Do we do deliveries?
Yes. For example, there are people who are up country and you don't have, time to come to Kampala.
Okay.
Just give us the size that you need. You send the money through our bank accounts, which we shall share with you. Once you have received the money, we put it in the bus and it comes straight to you. We do that all the time. If you're within Kampala, we have a border man who can be able to deliver it to you.
Okay, Task Farm, we are on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all the networks we are there. But here where we are standing, we're looking at mostly the quality materials we use in greenhouse, solar dryers, and the rest. Now, I want us to look at mulching paper.
Oh.
We want to look at mulching paper for our friends who are in crops and you're having issues. You put your mulching materials, okay, you put the grass, the hassock swat, and then later you're being disturbed by pests, insects, and the rest of that. Maybe even you're a person dealing in berries. Uh-huh. You find that your lower ones are getting rotten because of what you used to mulch. Here at Task Farm, we have solved that problem, and I'm allowing Lawrence just to go briefly in a break. We come back with the mulching paper. Okay, thank you so much for keeping it at Task Farm. As we went in for a break, I told you I want us to come back with the mulching paper. This which I'm holding in my hand is under a mulching paper. Uh-huh. So, Lawrence, please take us through the use of this paper.
Okay. As you can see on the video behind there, we use it for mulching crops. You see, traditionally we use weeds and grass and what we call the bisubi in Uganda to cover our garden, especially to those who are farming tomatoes and strawberries and even those who are farming normal crops, simply to help, cover the ground, especially during the dry season. You don't want to lose too much water, evaporation and the like. Then you also don't want what we call splash back. Splash back is when the rain is raining and then water pours and splashes to the plant. It brings a lot of diseases and the like. Now we use the grass, which is also not cheap, I understand. But now, the grass has several disadvantages. Number one, the insects, when you are spraying, they hide under that very grass which you've put. And then you can spray them. You can't access them. So after you spray, they just come and check around, go back to eating what they were eating before. Now, tomorrow you come and you are saying these chemicals are not working. No. You give them where to hide. Now, other than that, the grass rots very quickly. You put them when you're starting to farm the tomatoes. By the time the tomatoes are ready for harvest, they're actually sitting on soil because the grass has, it rotten away and now it's part of the manure. Now, with the mulching paper, this paper is made, is UV treated as well.
Okay.
So it is not affected, it's not spoiled by the rain and the weather. Okay. Now, when you are covering the ground, you cover before planting, not after. So you cover the ground and then, especially those of us who have drip irrigation. So the drip irrigation, you first lay the drip irrigation, you prepare your garden, you lay the drip irrigation.
So within the drip irrigation?
Inside, yes. Then you cover with mulching paper outside. So then you come, you bore holes, you pierce some holes where you're going to put your plants.
Okay.
All right? Now, the black side faces down. Why? To retain the ground temperature.
Okay.
Crops don't like very cold, soil. So if you can be able to retain the temperature down there, the better for the crop. Then on the upper side, you have a reflective color. Why? To reflect, like now for us here in the central, to reflect the heat back or heat away from the soil. But at the same time, this color reflects back the light back to the plants under the leaves of the plants.
Okay.
That has great advantages because, number one, the insects which hide under the leaves, okay? They hide under the leaves because how they can tell that this is under the leaf is because there isn't much light like it is on the upper side. But now this color reflects the light back to the lower side of the leaves.
Yes.
Now, the insect who was under here now becomes very uncomfortable because you have now light coming from down. And of course, for the instinct of the insect is that if I can see this light, the enemy can also see me. So they are very uncomfortable. They go on the upper side. There is even more light. So they end up abandoning your garden. And they are like, okay,
let's leave it.
Let's leave this one. Then the other thing is that when you are spraying, let's assume you are spraying your insects. I mean, the insects that may be there in the garden, all right? Now, even if the insect falls on the cover, I mean, when you're spraying, some chemicals splash on the cover, and they just die as well. So there is no hiding when you have this mulching paper. And don't forget, since it's a UV cover, it's a UV treated material, it's not being affected by the weather. And number two, whatever water is inside the soil is in the soil, is not going to evaporate. The only way you lose water when you have this kind of material is something we call transpiration. Transpiration is where the plant loses the water through the spores into the atmosphere. So the plant seeks more water from the ground. And as it is picking more water, it brings more food. And as it brings more food, it grows better. So you'll find the one who has this paper, his crops are looking much better, yet you put the same amount of manure and the same amount of labor. But because of that science behind it, that the water that is there in the soil is not being lost by evaporation, is only lost through the plant breathing. So that is the essence of this paper. This paper is 1.7 meters width, and one roll is 1,000 meters. 1,000 meters. Wow. 1 kilometer, in other words. So by the time you cover 1 kilometer in your garden, hey, you have covered quite a big chunk of land.
Now, what about when we talk of fertilizer, this is word and manure?
Now, you see, when you're doing soil preparation, you're supposed to put in your manure first. Then you mix with the soil. Any other additional, what we would call it, like supplementing, you either do through what we call fertigation. Fertigation is fertilizer and irrigation combined. Now we have all those fertilizers which are soluble fertilizers. Soluble meaning they can mix in water. They can mix with water more or less like the way you mix sugar in your cup. Now, after that, you release the water, it goes into the garden. So it goes with the fertilizer. The other way is to use fertilizer, to apply fertilizer foliarly all through the leaves. There are fertilizers which, now there are very many, they are for foliar application. In other words, you spray the plant and the plant gets the food. Yes, they are there. And if one doesn't know, please come to Task Farm and we'll show you some of those things. We have even a sample garden, like you can see, where we have a few tomatoes planted, and where the ground is covered with this material, just for you people to see so that you can understand how it's done. And that is the importance of a mulching paper. And actually, once you use the mulching paper, you'll never go back the other side. Because number one, there is no weeding to do. The weeds can't germinate. How will they grow? So the only work you have is to take care of the plant. If it's tomato, maybe to tie it a bit, more or less of massaging the plant. Now, not more again weeding, scratch the ground, water all that is removed by this material.
Okay, briefly, I wanted us to look at crop protection because when we was talking about the UV covers, we was talking about crop protection. The reason why I brought in the mulching paper, I just wanted to let you know that as Task Farm Uganda, we have nursery beds here. We do nursery management. If you have seeds and you don't know how you can help yourself out, bring them to Task Farm.
We shall raise them for you.
Yes, they'll raise them for you, or we shall raise them for you. You'll just give us just a small penny of money.
100 shillings.
Yes, and you'll take your seedlings when they're healthy and nice looking.
You just concentrate on preparing the garden.
Here, after the mulching paper, we are still looking at the materials we have for greenhouse and solar dryer. We are going to come back with the crops or the nursery later. Let's continue with the solar dryer and greenhouse material. Okay, just like I told you, we are still looking at the quality materials we brought for you at Task Farm. When you look at this net and this one, and this is white, this is black, I even don't know how we use them. But at Task Farm Uganda, we want to show you the best quality of the nets that we bring here, the ones that will help you in your solar dryer and the greenhouse. Lawrence is going to be taking us through where do you use these nets? Yes, Lawrence.
Okay, now this one, we call it an insect net.
Okay.
Its main purpose is to keep insects off a greenhouse. In other words, yes, we call them insect net, but they actually to protect insects from entering into the greenhouse. Because basically a greenhouse is a protected area that we use for farming. We would call it the factory of the plants where they produce, let's say tomatoes, they produce tomatoes. It's the factory of tomatoes. So to prevent, insects and all sorts of pests from outside, because you see we are still in the same earth, So to protect the crops, we use this net. It's a HDPE net.
Okay.
So which means it's not going to be affected by weather. It's going to be there for years and years until you get tired of your greenhouse and you throw it away and build another one.
Okay.
This net is for that purpose.
What happens if you don't use this net in the greenhouse?
Now, you'll find that the holes, the size of these holes, are designed to even keep off what we call a white fly. A white fly is a very tiny butterfly-like insect, but very tiny and very destructive. Now, if you don't use this net and you use a mesh, for example, you want to keep the birds, some birds off, not even all the birds. So the purpose of this net is designed specifically to keep the insects off. You understand? Now, if you compare this net with this net, you realize that the holes here are much bigger than the size of the holes here.
Do we use all these ones do we use all these types in the greenhouse?
Now it's different purposes. Okay. Now this is mainly for vegetables and flowers, for people who are doing vegetables and flowers. But if you are doing trees, now we come to this. We call them shade nets.
Okay. Oh.
This is a 75% shading. You can feel the sun here, but when you put the hand here, you feel a little cooler.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
So it's shading the sunlight, the amount of sunlight that gets to the crop, while allowing sun rays to pass through. You understand?
Yes.
So that's where it gets the word shade net from.
Before we go on.
Yes. This one doesn't shade.
Okay.
This one doesn't shade, while this one does shade the amount of heat that comes to the crop. You understand? These ones, sometimes we use them in the greenhouse on the inside, especially when you are dealing with the nursery, to shade the young ones. You get it?
Yes.
But also when we are dealing with tree nurseries, we use these. Let's say like coffee nurseries, we use this to reduce the amount of heat that gets to the crops.
If I use this one, what happens?
This one does not shade. This protects only the insects.
Okay.
But this one...
So the sun will come as it is.
As it is.
The plants.
Yes.
Don't use this in the shade.
This is not for shading,
not for shading.
The heat, yes.
Okay. Then
but this is
I
for
have seen
shading.
this type of nets, and you find that someone built a structure
and uses this kind of net. No. It's not this one. It would be too expensive for him. They use what they call PVC nets. Now, those nets are made to last for like maximum of 6 months. After that, you touch them like this, they just go, they just tear. But this one, you are talking about 6-10 years.
Are these the very nets we use for our cars?
Yes.
Like for creating.
You see, those ones are HDPE, which are treated to be able to handle weather. But even in the cars one, you have to be careful. There are some which are PVC. Yes, which may not work for us here. And unfortunately, when you go to buy, you cannot tell unless the person selling tells you what is happening. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the difference with the nets.
And what happens for some of them that peel off?
Still, that's a different material. But that material is not for farming. No.
Because you'll find these ones doing
it has peeled off
for coffee.
They have used the material and then it is peeling off.
Yes, and it's
now that thing that is peeling off is the PVC, which means that was not the right material. It was not the right material.
Okay.
They bought the wrong material.
Yeah, it's only a task farm where you'll get genuine people to explain to you exactly what nets you should use, which one is genuine, which one is not.
Yes.
I've just told you. I had a friend who had a nursery for, is it called nursery also for coffee?
Yeah, it's still a nursery.
Yeah, and this, something black was peeling off.
That means that was the wrong material. Yeah. It's not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, please come to Task Farm.
And you get
come and get quality materials, please.
Yes.
Okay, right now I want us to look at some of the other materials that you haven't seen yet.
Yes.
Okay.
These, we call them profile channels. And this is what we use when we are fixing the UV covers or the nets on the structure frame. Let's assume you've made your structure using wood or using steel galvanized materials or plastic pipes. This is what you fix. You fix this one on the structure frame, and then you bring the material. Let's assume this is our cover, all right? This is our cover. It's coming like this. Maybe the other side is the top. Then this profile is fastened on the frame, even if it's a wooden one or metallic one. And then you bring this wire. We call this one a wiggle wire. Now this wire, you just hoop it in like that. like you can see, like that. And that UV, that material is properly fixed. Not even wind can get it out of there. You get it? So that is how we fix those materials. Now, these channels, we have them in two different sizes. We have 0.45 millimeter, that is the thickness of the channel. And the length is 4 meters. We have them in 4 meters length. The width, we are talking about, just a minute, we are talking about the thickness here. Okay, this is 0.45, and then I have a 0.7, which this is 0.7, which is much heavier than the other one. This 0.7, we use them mainly for solar dryers, especially the ones where we are drying chicken droppings, because chicken droppings are more stubborn and they corrode iron very quickly. And so this 0.7 works better there. It is more firmer and more heavier metal than the 0.4. Now the 0.4 will work well for greenhouses because there you don't have corrosion as much as you would expect in a dryer, especially for chicken droppings. Each profile is 4 meters. However, because of transportation, we cut them into 2 meters. So when we are selling to you one profile, we would sell to you two pieces of 2 meters to make one complete profile. Then we also have these tensioned wiggle wires, which are coated, not naked. They are coated, tensioned wiggle wires. We also have them in 2 meters length. So one set of profile comes with 2 pieces of wiggle wires, and that is what we use to fasten the materials, either the net or the UV, onto the structure frame. I think they can also see some of the videos where we have used that UV, and you see it remains tightly fixed on the structure, and even the wind cannot get it off. And when you want to change the material, you simply unlock the channels and just put a new cover, and the structure continues. However, when you nail, let's say, a piece of wood, you nail a cavera on it. Now, the water will follow that nail into the piece of wood, onto the piece of wood, and then the piece of wood will just start rotting. And that means that the structure you've built, you give it a maximum of 4 years and it starts falling apart, just because the water is corroding. I mean, is making the wood to rot. So those are some of the materials that we have for holding the structure. Then we also have what we call crane cables. Now, these crane cables, we use them for wind support. That is, if we are building a structure in a place which is very windy, we come up with, we use these crane cables. You can see them, they are heavy duty crane cables, and then we tie them onto the structure to reinforce the structure, just in case the place where we are building is a windy place.
Thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel, TikTok, please. Thank you for following. And we have been looking at the quality material that we brought for you farmers and those who are doing greenhouse solar dryer as a business. Task Farm is the only point you should get all those quality. And actually, they'll give you advice on which one to use. So here where we are standing, we are back to our friends of the crop. And down here, we have brought for you the planting medium. Call it pit moss. It's very soft if you look at it. And when it comes to water, it doesn't retain water like soil. For those ones who are doing our open nursery, please, it is high time to switch. When you look at this, we have our seedling trays. This one is the big size. It has 66 holes. That means it is going to carry for you 66 plants or seedlings. This one here is 200 holes inside here. So you're very sure that you're going to get your 200 seedlings here. And the reason why we use peat moss, we are very sure that we are going to get all our seedlings out. If it is percent, 99% of our seedlings will come out. So right now we're just showing you how we use our peat moss. We put the seeds inside and then we cover. We cover with like that. Then when we water, the seed gets enough water. The rest of the water goes through. Compared to the person who is doing open nursery, your soil, sometimes it ends up hardening, and time for removing, or time for the time the seed grows up, you can't even have it well. And here we are very sure that 99% of our seeds will come out. So we are going to the nursery, we are going to our greenhouse, and we shall show you some of the results of the seeds that we have been planting here.
Okay, now you've seen how we handle we call it planting medium, the medium which we use to plant these seeds. Remember, we are not using soil, we use something called soilless medium. In other words, a substrate that supports germination and encourages growth of the roots so that they can grow within that area that we've given it and within the substrate that we've given it. So that's the material that we are using here. This is not soil, it's the planting medium. Other people call it peat moss, and there are different names for it from different places and parts of the world. Now, after we have seeded, or we have planted our seeds in the trays, we label the trays because here at Task Farm we are growing seeds for different people. So we label the seeds depending on the person or on the type of the seed that we have planted. And then they come here on this row bed. This is where we put our seeds after planting them. Then, given the different type of seedlings that we have, tomatoes take about 4 days to germinate. Pepper takes about 9 to 11 days to germinate. For example, if you look here on my right, you see some peppers which already started to germinate. Some have already come out, others are just peeping out. So sometimes, depending on the shelf life, they may not come out at the same rate, but they will eventually come out. And then once they come out, then we can start bringing them to the upper trays, the upper shelves. Now, in these upper shelves here, we bring them here and we treat them differently depending on the age of the seedling. Tomatoes come out here after roughly 1 week. That's when they come up. And then peppers take a bit longer, and different vegetables really take different times. For example, these peppers, which are about 9 days old, they were planted on the same day with the peppers, but now for the tomatoes you can see they've already started forming the leaves. And then now we can start counting. Now 2 more weeks and then they are out of here and they go into the field, and they make money for the farmer. Here there are tomatoes which have been here for 2 weeks. They are remaining with 1 more week, and on the second week we just let them go. So this is an example of these ones. We call these leaves are not called, they are not true leaves. These are the true leaves. And once the tomato has about 4 true leaves, it's ready to go to the field. And it can be able to now be taken to the field out in the sun after we have handled it here in the nurseries. Now, what we do here, when you come to us, you may come with your seeds, if you have your seeds, or you have maybe come up with your seeds from wherever the source, and we plant the seeds for you, and we don't charge more than 100 shillings per seed. So, and once you give us your seed, you just walk away. You'll just come and pick now a mature seedling ready to transplant. Maybe I just show you an example of how a seedling looks like when it is ready for transplanting. Let me pick some. Okay, now these are peppers that have been here for a while, and you can see this is for Sezibwa, some farm in Sezibwa. Now this is a seedling that is just, they are going to be taken next week. So now we have started the process of hardening, but you can see how the roots have colonized the entire place and they are holding onto the substrate that we planted them in. And now this seedling, once it is taken to the field, it does not start, like the the normal way we do in our nurseries, where we uproot and the roots first are cut off and then we take to the field and they start developing new roots. No, here all the roots are intact. So once you put it in the soil, it starts from there and just grows on to the crop that you would want. So that's the advantage of planting or seeding your seeds in seedling trays. And once you come here, you either carry the tray to your garden and then bring us our empty trays, or you come with the box, or we can pack them actually in boxes for you, such that when you are taken to the field, you don't have to really, have this worry, oh, my seedlings, they're going to die along the way. No. It comes out as you have seen it, and comes out with all its roots, so it's not going to die. It's not going to die. This can even stay 3 days outside the tray without dying, because all the roots are intact. So the plant literally is intact. It has zero damage. So it's not going to die. So please do come to Task Farm. We should be able to educate you more on this and much, much more, because we cannot talk everything today. But when you come here, we shall be able to answer all your questions. We can be able to teach you more on how to go about this. And we can even be able to, if you don't know, maybe you don't know where to get certain seedlings or certain vegetables, we can be able to source them for you. Even if it means importing, we shall import them for you. So please don't shy away. Come by. We are in Lubaga, Kabusu, just next to Lubaga roundabout, the Kabusu roundabout. And if you can't find it or you can't reach us, you can just call us. Our number, the office line, is 0703 490 927. The MTN is 788 500 968. Please reach out to us. We shall be able to help you. We shall serve you and you'll enjoy. Thank you.